Some might say that the best offense is a good defense, and if this sentiment would apply for social abilities, I would have been much more popular back in high school. However, in Roulette Dungeon, things are thankfully much different. This build guide is based on the Roulette Dungeon demo, which you can check out for free on Steam, so please do so if you're interested and haven't already. First off, this build is no joke. The main strategy is letting enemies take care of themselves while we keep healing and activating the deflect buff, which is the most essential part of our entire game plan. That's why playing as the lone traveler is the obvious choice here. Their ability, the Potion of Choice, lets you choose between 3 effects: upgrade max HP, upgrade max shields, and of course activate the deflect buff for 2 turns. While the buff is active, we take no damage and the enemy will damage themselves instead. To activate this buff as often as possible, we aim for these 2 items: the Mysterious Rune, which has a chance to activate the buff when winning a pocket bet, and the Cube Pendant, which does the same but only when you lose a pocket bet. The core game plan is to always bet at least 1 chip on a number, so there's a chance to activate the buff every turn. But since this isn't 100% reliable, we also want to recharge our ability as often as possible, since it gives us the option to activate the buff when we really need it. So that's why having these 2 items helps out a lot. The Dark Horse has a chance to recharge the ability whenever you land on a 1. The Red Battery on the other hand always recharges it, but you have to land on a 0 2 times in a row. However, for the Red Battery to work, we need to bet on red. This is actually not bad at all though, because there are quite a few items that synergize greatly with this setup. For instance, Red Shields restore 2 shields every turn when betting red, and the Red Pepper restores shields equal to 50% of the number you landed on. This adds some extra defense to the build. We don't have to stop here though. Both Blessing in Disguise as well as Minor Blessing heal you when you land on a 0, so these items cover your HP bar. I'd also recommend picking up Opportunist and or Ambush if you come across them. Opportunist deals 2 shield damage whenever the enemy attacks you, and Ambush deals 4 shield damage whenever you land on a 0. Now that our defensive strategy is covered, let's see if we can add some free damage to our build. The Red Cocktail also relies on red bets and adds 2 damage to your roll whenever you lose a pocket bet, and since we're already pocket betting every turn, that's a nice bonus to have. To make things even worse for our enemies, we could also try to go for the Rage Quit item, which has the same effect but isn't tied to red bets. That's plus 4 damage without really having to do anything. Last but not least, I'd definitely recommend picking up the Flaming 8 Ball. It has a great chance to deal double damage when landing on an 8, which is an amazing addition to every build that relies on red bets. Just to be clear, you probably won't find all of the items mentioned in this guide in every run, but you also don't need every one of them for this build to work. When rerolling items regularly, you will most likely find a lot of them though, so it's definitely good to know which items synergize nicely. Playing this build really feels like outsmarting your enemies, and it's a lot of fun and definitely worth trying out. Just look at this fight, we're absolutely dominating this poor guy. Anyway, here you can see all of the items mentioned in this guide again, if you want to, you know, give it a spin.